Hey everybody, this is Ben back again, and welcome back to another video in which for today's video I'm going to do something kind of different because well, for today's video I'm going to talk about how a DVD player works and how a VCR works. Now, we all know basically like how they work, like actually like many of us know that they use DVD player. Well, for DVD players they use lasers, right, to scan the information, like what is on the DVD. And then for VCR, they well, for those who probably have already seen like how a DVD player, or how DVDs or Blu-rays or CDs or even a VHS tape and VCR, how they actually work. For those who have seen and are coming into this video and probably already know all the different mechanics and everything to power them up, you probably already know by now, so you probably you probably already may know, so you can still continue watching this and probably already know. But like for those who do not know, who don't know a single thing about how they work, like actually, and are watching my videos, well, you are here. Or you can also just watch other people's videos, as well. So anyways, let's go ahead and get right into this. So for those who do not know, well, you're in. And for those who already know, like I said, how they work and are coming into this, but still already know, well, you're still in for a treat, I guess you could say. So let's get into it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how a DVD player works. Well, first, we're going to talk about how a DVD actually works. So it can segue perfectly into how a DVD player works, because it's how it all as a whole works. So basically, all DVDs plus CDs and Blu-rays, they all contain, they're all coated or covered basically with very tiny microscopic bumps, which we cannot see with our very own eyes. We have to only view them through a microscope. But they are filled with bumps, very, very tiny bumps called pits. And the material around the pits are called lands, which contain all the stored information that is on the disc, in which the pits contain zeros, right? And then the lands contain ones, like, a binary code. And then when the laser hits those pits and lands, it detects and reads the information from the disc, in which the laser, it actually, when it hits the pits, it actually reflects onto a photoelectric cell, and then which detects the light. And then when it hits the lands, it does not reflect. And when that laser hits all of it as a whole, it scans the information and also processes what you're actually seeing on screen, both the video and audio. So all of that actually comes from the laser itself. So now what I'm going to show you is how a DVD player functions, both its spinning and also how where the picture and audio actually comes from. So let's get right into it. Okay, so now here is one of my DVD players, which, as you can see, the cover is off, so you can see the inside of it, in which that's what it looks like. You can see where the DVD is supposed to go onto, and plus the magnetic thing that keeps the DVD while from spinning around, so it doesn't fly around the inside of the machine. And then on the back of the top thing, on the magnetic thing, is where the laser is. We're going to dive right into it right now. So you can see on the very right there, that is the laser, which scans all the info on the DVD. So now we're going to show you how it actually runs. So now here is a DVD being put in, which, as you can see, it is spinning, which is caused by the laser. And as you can see, that laser is scanning all the information in a fraction of a second as it's going. And that laser, of course, it helps get the picture and audio both, as you can on the screen. As you can see, all of this is all caused by the laser. Yep, that laser is what gets the audio and the video both on screen. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how a VCR works. But first, we're going to show you how a VHS tape actually works, like the tape itself. So anyways, this is a VHS tape. You can see the reels and everything, plus the tape label. And then here is the back of it, which there are the two spools that hold the VHS tape in place, or what allows them to move as the VCR is inside the VCR, because the VCR has spools in order to hold them in place. So now we're going to show you what the inside looks like, which, as you can see, here it is right here. You can see the two reels. The one on the left is called the supply reel, and then the one on the right is the take-up reel, in which as you can see where all the tape is connected to. You can see it starts from the supply reel, connecting to going through those two rollers there, and then goes all the way to the right. It goes over here to the middle, onto the very right, to those two rollers, onto the take-up reel. And so that is basically how it works, and also how it works from the inside. And these two mechanisms over here, these allow the reels to stay in place and are locked in, because if you unlock them, with like an audio jack or a screw or anything else, it will unlock those mechanisms so that the reels can easily move. They can fall out or whatever else, especially if you're holding it. And then but if they're locked in, obviously they are locked up, so you can't easily move them. You have to use some kind of thing to put them in the back of the hole in the tape. So anyways, that is basically how a VHS tape works itself. And so now I'm going to show you how a VCR actually works now. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how a VCR actually works, in which, as you can see, there is a lot of mechanics that are used to in order to play the tape, and also to do all the different stuff inside. So anyways, to start off, we're going to start off with those two cylinder things which are called guide rollers, in which what they do is that when you put in a VHS tape, those guide rollers there, they pull up the tape all the way to the top of the slot like thing that they're on, in which, as that happens, the tape touches that big thing over here called the head drum, in which what that does is that it reads all the information on the tape. It scans and reads the information and detects what you're actually seeing on screen. So that is basically how you get the picture. It scans the info and allows you to see what is actually happening on screen. And then that black thing on the left there, that is the erase head, in which what that does is that it allows you to record stuff onto, like blank tapes and all that. And then that metal thing, that little metal thing on the right of the head drum thing, that is the audio head, which as that tape touches that, it scans the audio, which allows you to hear what is actually going on screen. And then, of course, there are the two spools. There are black spools right there that allows you to, that allows the reels to move because of, the electricity. And then of course there's a lot of other different, of course there's well, you can't really kind of see them through here, but most VCRs have this, but they have the tension arms which pull up which also pull up the tape as you put it in. And then, of course, now you can't really see it because I tried looking for it last night, because this was made last night, these photos and videos. I tried looking for it and I can't really kind of find them, but most VCRs, they have what's called end of tape sensors, and what that does is that when the tape reaches like the beginning or even at the end, the end of tape sensors, they are active the whole time as the tape is playing, but like the end of tape sensors, what they are is that they're light sensors, I guess. They're sensors they're blocked by the tape, the actual tape, like the material it's made of, and then they're active at the beginning and end because
all tapes, both at the beginning and end, they have like clear points to them, and that sensor goes through the clear tape, which detects that the tape has reached the beginning or at the very end, and also probably maybe the reason why the screen is like blue as you put the tape in. So anyways, of course there's a lot more features to this, but I mean there's a lot of nooks and crannies of the, there's a lot more than that, like I think it's called the cat span, I think that's what it's called. I'm not too sure. I'm not really too knowledgeable. I am knowledgeable, but I just did whatever I could, and it's kind of to study and remember so I can make this video and all that. So it's not 100% perfect, but if you've seen other people's videos, then you can find out more information. But anyways, let's now show you a VHS tape in action. Okay, so now here is a VHS tape in action, which I'm about to put it in the VCR, as you can see. Watch what happens. See, as you can see, the guide rollers, they made it all the way up to the top of the slot-like things, and as you can see, the tape is around them because they pulled up the tape, and that tape is touching the headroom, so it's scanning the information and detecting what you're actually looking at on the television. And then it is also touching that erase head, but since this was a store-bought tape, it is not recording. And then on the very right here, it is also touching that audio head, in which, as you can see, as that touches it, it detects the audio. It's scanning the audio and gets what you're actually seeing on screen. And then as you can see, the spools, they are moving as the electricity is powering them up, which allows all of it as a whole to go. So as you can see, they are moving. Okay, so now here's what the tape looks like in fast forward. So as you can see, I'm pushing fast forward right here, and as you can see, the reels are moving a little bit faster than normal. Then if I fast forward it more, it goes a lot faster. And of course, as you can see, the picture and audio is all thanks to the head drum, which is scanning the information, and also the audio head. That is what allows it allows the system to process what is actually going on screen, both the video and audio. And then that right there is how you pause right there. It stops the process as a whole. And then the same goes with stop, excuse me. Now the rewind thing, it happens basically the other way around. It happens backwardsly, so instead of the reels will be going left instead of right, but unfortunately the rewind thing on this VCR, it unfortunately broke, and so I can't use it, and so I'm just only showing you just how these works. But how the fast forward and the other things like that, how they work. But we all know how the rewind thing works. It just, like I said, it just basically it just happens backwards. And so with that is basically how the inside of a VCR and how the tape, how it all actually works and stuff. And so, I mean, there is a little bit more to it, but just trying to keep it basic, I guess you could say. And then finally, here is the eject thing. As you can see, it happens basically like how it was when you put it in, except it happens reverse. The guide rollers come down, and then there you go. The tape is out.
Alright, well, that is basically it for my how a DVD player works and also how a VCR works video. So I hope you guys learned about the different stuff. For those who do not know, you probably already now have learned. And then for those who already have seen, who already know by now prior to this, well, now you've you got a second take on it, I guess you could say, like another video to watch while already knowing or something like that. I'm not too sure, but anyways, that's it for today's video, and I'll see you again soon.